Welcome back, writers. We are going to start a new unit in writing. It's one of my favorite units. We're going to start poetry. Now, I know we studied some poetry and reading, but now we're actually going to be writing poems. Okay, so you need to have 2 sheets of plain white paper with no lines. So if you don't have them ready, go ahead and pause me, go get them. 2 sheets of plain white paper, okay? And then we will start. We are going to be learning about 5 different kinds of poems. Some of them you might be familiar with, some of them you might not, and that is why we're going to do it. You're also going to make a poetry book, your very own poetry book. So that's what some of the materials in the bag is for. We'll get to all of that when we need them, okay? So don't worry about that. Right now, you just need 2 sheets of plain white paper. And we are going to be learning today about a poem called a list poem. What do you think that means? We're just making a list, exactly. Now with a list poem, it doesn't have to rhyme, and you have one topic, and then you just make a list of words that describe your one topic, okay? So before we actually start doing that, we're gonna start our table of contents for our poetry book. So on your first sheet of paper, have nice handwriting. And if you mess up, you just erase it. Or at the end, when we finish all of it, you don't like the way it looks, you can just redo it because you'll have yourself your own copy. So I'm going to label it table of contents. And we know with our text feature study what the table of contents is, and it gives us the page numbers of what we're going to be reading about. We're also going to give the definition of the poems. Now, because you are going to be putting the pages in that clippy thing, we don't want to start writing at the very edge of the paper. So we want to kind of go in just like indenting, okay? Number 1. And we are going to write, it is a list poem. And like I just said, a list poem is a poem that is a list of words about one topic. A poem that is a list of words to describe one topic. All right. So we're going to do this for all 5 poems, but when we do each poem, that's when we'll make our table of contents. So you need to find a good place. Hopefully you have a folder that you can put all your papers in, okay? Because you don't want them wrinkled up for your poetry book, because your mom and dad will probably keep it forever. Okay, so hopefully you have that written in. We are going to create 2 list poems together, and then you'll have time to create 2 on your own. So you need your other sheet of paper, and we're going to fold it into quarters. How many pieces is that? 4, exactly. Okay, so I'm going to fold it, hamburger. And then I'm going to fold it again. So when I unfold it, I have 4 boxes, and I'm going to draw a line on the seam. Now, the exciting thing, the fun thing about this unit is that you are going to be writing poems about an animal, okay? You get to pick the animal. Each poem can be about the same animal, or it could be about a different animal. So you could have 5 different animal poems, or you could have a different style of poem for about one animal. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to choose the animal monkey, okay? That's my poem for the rest of this whole thing. You cannot choose monkey, right? Because that would be copying me. So here's how we do a list poem. Monkey. And then you very simply make a list of words about monkeys, 1 word each, okay? Not sentences, just describing words. For example, so I'm thinking about their color, what do they look like, where do they live, what do they do? That's how I'm going to make my list poem. They climb, right? So you should be writing this down as well. So you have my examples. That way you'll know what to do when you have your independent work. They eat bananas. And you can probably think of some too. And if you can think of some, go ahead and write them. They are soft. They live in the jungle. I love their little tails. They swing, right? And where do they swing? On vines. So again, you're just making one word in a nice tall column. Okay? And they're pretty flexible. And I could probably put down 10 more. But when you make your own, I want you to at least try to get 7 adjectives or 7 describing things about your animal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8. They're brown. Okay. So list poem is like the easiest poem that we have. We have a topic, and then we just put one word down to describe the topic. Let's do one more together, and then you'll get to do 2 on your own. How about the animal, a shark? Which also means you can't do shark. I'm not going to do shark on another example, just for this one. So if you want to do shark, you can do it for a different poem, but not for the list poem. So I'm going to describe my shark. Well, not my shark, but I think of their color. I think of what they do. They swim. They also hunt, don't they? They hunt their prey. Dun, dun, dun. They bite with their jaws. Okay. Thinking of, well, they swim. What do they swim with? Their fins. They also have scales. And what are they attracted to? Blood. Okay. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to choose 2 animals and make a list poem. Just like mine, but 2 different animals. And then tomorrow, you're going to pick an animal, one of your 2, and create a final copy. You're going to pretend like you're in art class tomorrow. You're going to create a final copy of your list poem for one of these animals. So be thinking. You can even do a little research if you want, but you need to have at least 7 words, 7 or more words, okay? 7 or more words, 7 plus words. You don't have to write that unless you think you're going to forget. I don't think you will, because I said the number 7 about 7 times, right? Okay. Pick 2 new animals and write list poem. Now, if you are loving this, you can certainly turn your paper over and do more if you want. If you can't decide between a panda and a flamingo and a koala bear, you can do panda, flamingo, koala bear. You can do more if you want, for sure, because you're going to pick one of your final ones for tomorrow's lesson, for your final copy of your list poem. Hope you enjoy this unit. It is so much fun.